Good morning. This is Basic Spanish at the Senior Center in Hagerstown. And I'm going to want to get your response as to whether you're here or not so I can take a roll call of the people who are on the list. If you could just respond at the comment area in the bottom that you are here, you could just put your name and your first name will be fine. So, is Lynn here? Nancy Swango. Joanne Parker. Carol Schofield. Sharon Rupenthal. Jean Walsh. Kathy Gagnon. And Judy McCall. Desiree is here, operating the mechanical stuff, the electronic stuff for me. And I'm going to give you her email in case you have questions later and need a comment or something about the about the session. We're hoping that the transmission goes smoothly. We had a couple of issues yesterday in the other class. So Desiree's Desiree Myers' email is dmyers, that's DMYERS, at WCCO Aging. That's WCCOAGING.org, O-R-G. Now our class has met 3 times with a variety of attendances. I gather from what Desiree tells me, there are a lot more people on this in the audience today electronically. So that's good. Maybe some of you, when we are able to bring our classes in-house here, you can come back and if you like the performance, if it is. Anyway, it's really hard to get the kind of feedback we need because it's only in writing from you. And so I'm going to have to ask you to just do your best to say what I want you to say out loud to yourself and see if it sounds right. We had started with pronunciation, which is the preliminary lesson in the text. Comes from this tome here, copyright 1970. And it's the intended audience is late high school, early college. So you'll notice that in all of the various stories that go along in the book. I'm going to start over in the very beginning just so you get an idea of what we're doing with pronunciation. You're going to have to pronounce it to yourself. Try to do it as faithfully as you can. The vowels are A, E, I, O, and U, as they are in English. The consonants are pretty much the same as they are in English, with some slight variations, but they're subtle. We'll not go into those subtleties at the moment. But I want you to concentrate on the vowel sounds because the 5 vowels are pure and simple, each one, and they don't vary. And they're not like they are in English, where in English we say "oh." That's really a vowel blend. It's like "oh," but the O in Spanish is "oh." Okay, so let's go through the A's. A is ah, 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 ah. Say it to yourself. Don't say ah and don't say aw. It's halfway in between those two American sounds. Ah, 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 ah. Then we get a name here, Ana. Ana. Say it to yourself 5 times. Ana, 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 Ana. That practices you're getting the purity of the vowel. Mama. Mama. Mama, 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 mama. Cha-cha-cha. Cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha, cha-cha-cha. 3 times will be enough for that one, because it's a double whammy, so to speak. Now the O in Spanish is not an O, which we do in English. It's O, 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 O. You hear it's a pure sound. It doesn't have a waviness to it. It doesn't have a sing-songy. It's a pure single sound. O, 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 O. As in Lola, Lola, Lola. See if you can write those words when you hear me say them. You don't have to write it as many times as I say it, but just try to write it at least once. That's a name, Lola. Here's another name, Sancho, Sancho, Sancho. Famoso, famoso, famoso. Sofa, 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 sofa. That's the word for sofa, in case you didn't know, in case you didn't guess. But the why is the stress on that last syllable, sofa? Well, normally it wouldn't be, but in Spanish there's an accent mark written on that last letter there, sofa, S-O-F-A with an accent. That's a acute accent, slanting from right to left as you look from top to bottom. That's the only accent there is in Spanish, by the way. Ocho, that's the number 8. Ocho, ocho, ocho. O-C-H-O, ocho. Now we have a phrase. Ocho sofás, ocho sofás, ocho sofás. That's 8 couches, or 8 Davenports, or 8 sofas, whatever you call them. The letter we call E in Spanish is E, 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 E. A. Be sure to say it to yourself. Melon, 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 melon. Now the word melon normally wouldn't be pronounced that way, except that there is an accent on the O, melon. I can explain that, but it's too detailed. This one does not have accents. It's the plural. Ocho melones. ocho melones. Try writing that one. That means 8 melons. Ocho melones. Now here's an interesting word for sesame. It's sésamo. 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 That's S-E-S-A-M-O with an accent on the first E, or on the only E. Sésamo. Here's a hard one. Mesa. Mesa. That's what this thing is, right here. Mesa, mesa, mesa. Notice how the the vowel sounds are very pure. Try writing this one. Ocho mesas. Ocho mesas. Ocho mesas. Now I think you've probably heard this name, Sancho. The way this is pronounced, there will be 2 vowels together because they're different words. Sancho and es and famoso. But when the 2 vowels come together, they kind of blend together. So it's not Sancho es famoso, it's Sancho es famoso. Sancho es famoso. Sancho es famoso. See if you can write that one down. Sancho es famoso. Then we have another famous person, Lola. Lola es famosa. Lola es famosa. Lola es famosa. Lola es famosa. Museo. The sound of the U is oo. Ooh, 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 ooh. Not ooh, ooh. So mucho. Mucho, mucho, mucho. Write that one 3 times. Or 5 times, whichever. Museo. 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 That will be spelled M-U-S-E-O. Museo. Here's a phrase for you. Muchos museos. Muchos museos. Muchos museos. A little more elaborate phrase, muchos museos famosos. Muchos museos famosos. Muchos museos famosos. If you have now, or if you will be getting the PDF that will be sent to you of this lesson, check your spelling, check your wording. Okay, the letter I, and parentheses the letter Y, because the Y is often pronounced the same way as it is in English, you know. Is E. 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 Here's a word for you. Anónimo. 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 And you can guess that that means anonymous. And if you don't know what that word, look it up. Okay, asesino. 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 That's A-S-E-S-I-N-O in English. Asesino. Asesino. Should be able to write that from hearing it. And in case you're wondering, that does mean assassin. Análisis. 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 That means analysis. You write an accent on the second A. Análisis. A-N-A-L-I-S-I-S. Análisis. Now there's no PH in Spanish, so it's spelled with an F. Sinfonía. 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 S-I-N-F-O-N-I with an accent on it, A. Sinfonía. That accent tells you that the I is pronounced separately from the A. It's not a blend of sounds. Sinónimo. 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 S-I-N-O with an accent, N-I-M-O. Sinónimo. Sinónimo, sinónimo, sinónimo. Say it to yourself. Practice it. Simón y Sofía. That's Simon and Sophie. Simón y Sofía. S-I-M-O-N with an accent on the O. E, the letter Y, which means and. Sophia, S-O-F-I with an accent, A. Simón y Sofía. Simón y Sofía. Write it to yourself and practice the pronunciations. We can't hear you, but that's a limitation we have. When you're in class with me, you'll be sure to be corrected if you're not doing it right. Okay, here's a whole sentence. El análisis es famoso. El análisis es famoso. El análisis es famoso. El análisis es famoso. The second A in análisis has an accent over it. That's how you know that's where the stress is. Lolita es famosa. Lolita es famosa. Lolita es famosa. La sinfonía es famosa. La sinfonía es famosa. La sinfonía es famosa. La sinfonía es famosa. Then we do more of them. Muchas sinfonías son famosas. Muchas sinfonías son famosas. Muchas sinfonías son famosas. You will be getting a PDF with these pages, so you should check your spelling. Keep your papers, check your spelling. Don't understand it, make sure you write out a question to bring next time. Now we're going to practice some words with the T and the CH, but the T specifically. The T in English is breathed. It's aspirated. It's like, but that's an exaggeration. But in Spanish, it's not. It's, you can't even hear it, probably. So we'll go through the T-I, T-E, T-A, T-O, T-U syllables here. Ti, te, ta, to, tu. And you'll notice how each vowel is its own pure sound. Tono. Remember, it's not tono, it's tono. Tono. Nota. 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 Sonata. 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 Machete. 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 Talento. 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 Now here's one where the two vowels in one word at the end and the beginning of the other word are going to sound like the same vowel. But they're in parts of two different words. Santana. Santana is like Santa Ana. Okay? Santana, Santana, Santana. Two words. Then we have one with my namesake, Santo Tomas. Santo Tomas. Santo Tomas. Now you hear that stress in the mas part of San Tomas. That tells you there's an accent on that A. Santo Tomas. Muchos santos famosos. Muchos santos famosos. Muchos santos famosos. You should be able to write those phrases getting all of the vowels correctly. And finally, muchas santas famosas. Muchas santas famosas. Muchas santas famosas. Both of those phrases mean many famous saints. But in the first place, where you had Tomas, it's a masculine, a man saint, and muchas santas famosas are female saints. Then the L can either begin a syllable or end a syllable. I'm going to read what it says here so you'll understand what the way they describe it in the text. Spanish L is similar to the English L, except that for Spanish, the bulk of the tongue is held higher in the mouth and is pushed more toward the front of the mouth. So try to pronounce the Spanish L by putting the middle of your tongue against your upper teeth and gums. The Spanish articulation is pretty to an English speaker when the Spanish L occurs at the end of a syllable. And we'll do some with the beginning and some with the end. Here's 5 syllables with the L beginning it. Li, le, la, lo, lu. Li, le, la, lo, lu. And then at the end of a syllable, il, el, al, ol, ul, for the 5 vowels. Il, el, al, ol, ul. Not necessarily in alphabetical order. So write these words. Total, 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 total. Fatal, fatal, fatal. El túnel, el túnel. You hear that oo, which is accented there. It's stressed. It has an accent over the U. El túnel. El sol. El sol. What's el sol? Sol is the sun. El sol. El sultán. El sultán. El sultán. El sultán. There's an accent on the A. Sultán. And his spouse, la sultana. I guess we would have to say sultaness in English. Not sure. La sultana has no accent mark on it. We'll explain all of that later about when you write an accent mark and when you don't, and how you know which syllable is stressed. The main thing is if you see an accent mark in writing, you know that's where the stress is. That's simple enough. So we'll go on to more sultans. Muchos sultanes. Muchos sultanes. Muchos sultanes. See if you can write that phrase. Muchos sultanes. That's M-U-C-H-O-S S-U-L-T-A-N-E-S. Muchos sultanes. That's the plural of sultan. And the plural of sultana, of course, is sultanas. So we have muchas sultanas. Muchas sultanas. Muchas sultanas. I hope you're writing that down. I'm trying to give you enough time to do it without rushing you too much. Now here's a reading. We call it lectura in Spanish. It's not a lecture. Sounds like lecture, looks like lecture, but it's lectura. It means a reading. So this reading is entitled Santo Tomas. Not I now. It's the real Santo Tomas, okay? So I want you to write this. I'm going to read you the whole sentence, and I'll read it 3 times. They're short sentences, but you got to work on it really fast. Santo Tomas es un santo famoso. Santo Tomas es un santo famoso. Santo Tomas es un santo famoso. The A in Tomas has an accent on it. This is a shorter sentence, but you're going to have to listen carefully. Santo Tomas es sutil. Santo Tomas es sutil. Santo Tomas es sutil. The last word is spelled S-U-T-I-L. And as you might have guessed, it means subtle. These are all words that came from the previous pronunciation practice, by the way. Okay, here is a longer sentence. Santo Tomas no es un asesino. Santo Tomas no es un asesino. Santo Tomas no es un asesino. Give you one more time on that. Santo Tomas no es un asesino. Similarly, Santo Tomas no es un sultán. 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 Now you remember I said there's no PH in Spanish, so you got to use the letter you know for this sound. Santo Tomas es un filósofo. Santo Tomas es un filósofo. Santo Tomas es un filósofo. Filósofo. F-I-L-O with an accent. O-S-O-F-O. That's F-I-L-O-S-O-F-O. L-O with an accent, S-O-F-O, filosofo. Okay. We have time for much more. There are questions and answers in the text. If you have them, you can practice your pronunciation on them. There's a read. Well, after the reading, there are the questions and answers. You should read the questions and the answers to yourself, practicing the inflection. Remember that in a question in Spanish, the pitch rises at the end of the question. So the first question is, Santo Tomas es famoso? Hear it rise at the end. Santo Tomas es famoso. So what does that mean? St. Thomas is a philosopher? No, it means, is St. Thomas a philosopher? That's the normal way you would put it in English. Sí, Santo Tomas es famoso. I'm sorry. Filósofo or famoso? Okay, famoso. Sí, Santo Tomas es famoso. Sí, S-I with an accent on the I, comma. Santo Tomas with an accent on the A for Tomas es famoso. Those of you who have the text, you can follow it along and practice it yourself in the privacy of your room or wherever you are, outside, wherever you are. Okay, if we go to page 6, we'll skip all those questions until the class reunites. La pronunciación de P, this is segunda parte, second part. La pronunciación de P, that's the name of the P. P, R, that's the name of the R. R, that's the name of the double R. De I, the letter I. U, the letter U. Como semivocales, as semivowels. That's technical. And then these two combinations, or these several combinations of the C, the hard C and the soft C, we'll call it the S sound. CE is se. CI is si. CA is ka. CO is ko. CU is ku. QUE is ke. QUI is ki. You do not get the Q sound in Spanish with the Q. You get it by using a CU and another vowel. So CUE would be que, and CUI would be qui. So you have to break some habits and reform new ones. Okay, pronunciation of the P, the R, the double R, the I, the U as semivowels, the CE, CI, CA, CO, CU, QUE, and QUI. Start with the P's. P, pe, pa, po, pu. Now it's not P, it's P, pe, pa, po, pu. There's no puff of air with the P. Papa, papa. Patata, patata. Which, if you haven't guessed, is potato. Pepe, Pepe. That's a name. It's short for Jose. It's a nickname for Jose, so it really means Joe. Pepito, Pepito was like little Pepe or Joey. Pepito. Poeta is poet. The word itself, poeta, despite the fact that it ends in an A, is normally masculine. Now, if it were a woman poet, it would be la poeta. But el poeta is the name normally if you don't have another way to associate a gender to it. Similarly, with poema, it's always masculine. El poema, poema. The phrases here, el poeta es chileno. El poeta es chileno. Notice how el poeta es, the two vowels kind of run together. Poeta es chileno. The poet is Chilean. El poeta es famoso. El poeta es famoso. El poeta es famoso. El poema es famoso. El poema es famoso. El poema es famoso. Now, if this poet had been a female poet, it would have been la poeta es chilena and la poeta es famosa. But they're assuming here that it is a masculine poet. The poem is always a masculine word, despite the ending in an A. And that's typical of words that are inherited, for example, from Greek. They were masculine in Greek, they stayed masculine in Latin, and they kept the gender in Spanish. Okay, now the single R, the way I describe it, well, if you look at the right-hand column, they say it's similar like the double T in Betty or Lotta. Which sound like Betty and Lotta in Spanish. I equate it, to my mind, the single R is a lot like the American D. So if you follow me here at the bottom of the page, IRI is Irie, Irie. ERE is Ere, Ere. ARA is Ara, Ara. ORO is Oro, Oro. And URU is Uru, Uru. Any idea what oro is? Gold. The others don't, well, they don't really have meanings among them of themselves. So we have some familiar names here. Maria, Maria, Maria. To me, it sounds just like the American D. Sara y Nora, Sara y Nora, Sara y Nora. Notice how the A in Sara, the ending, and the E for the word and, blend together. Sara y Nora, Sara y Nora. Not Sara y Nora, Sara y Nora. Caracas, Caracas. That's more than one Caracas, but it's really the name of the Venezuelan capital. Okay, I have an audience here of one in my room, so I get to smile back and forth here. Page 7, Peru, Peru. That's a country on the Pacific coast of South America. El Torero. El Torero. I think you probably all know what El Toro is. El Torero is a person who works with El Toro. So if you have an ERO ending on a word, I mean that's the person that does that kind of thing. So Torero is a bullfighter. Interesante, interesante, interesante. Say it to yourself. Interesante, interesante. El torero es interesante. Try that whole thing. El torero. Try it again. El torero es interesante. Now, this is a little more challenging. La literatura chilena es interesante. La literatura chilena es interesante. Where you have the vowel blend is between chilena and es. La literatura chilena es interesante. Try it. La literatura chilena es interesante. You might get tongue-tied just doing it as fast as I'm doing it. But la literatura chilena es interesante. You can slow it down. Now the double R. I have heard it said that it is difficult for women to do this as more so than men because they didn't grow up as little girls like little boys do making motor noise. It is what it is, right? So we have I. We pronounce the vowels and we pronounce the double R. Rrr. Double R is always trilled. So that first one is Irie, Irie, Irie. The one with the E's is R, R, R. With the A's, Arra, Arra, Arra. With the O's, Orro, Orro, Orro. Urru, Urru, Urru. Well, that, if you can do that, you can do anything, right? So burro, burro. That's the donkey. Burra, burra. That's the she-donkey.
Just interrupting real quick. What page are you on?
I'm on page 7. Everyone on page 7?
Thank you.
Torre, torre. That's tower. Now, watch out for this, hearing it pronounced differently, especially the name of this tower. La Torre Eiffel, La Torre Eiffel, La Torre Eiffel. We hear it Eiffel in English, which is similar to certain, like the German pronunciation of that EI is the same as I. But in English, in Spanish, A. La Torre Eiffel. Finally, La Torre es famosa. Notice how the E and Torre and the E and S become one. La Torre es famosa. La Torre es famosa. The initial R is also trilled, like the double R. Ri, re, ra, ro, ru. If you have trouble doing that, just keep trying. It'll finally come to you. So let's get some names in here.
The initial R is also trilled.
You got a playback there.
Kathy is wanting the text. Can you let her know what my email?
What is?
My email.
Oh, yes.
So that Kathy can.
Okay, Kathy, you can ask Desiree at D Myers. That's DMYERS at WCCOAGING.org. That's WCCOAGING.org, which is It's short for Washington County Commission on Aging. WCCOaging.org. That D. Myers at WCCOA Aging. WCCOaging.org. Okay, the initial R is trilled. Try these syllables. Ri, re, ra, ro. And they have some names here. These are common names in Spanish. Rafael, Rafael. Raúl, Raúl. René, René. Rosa, Rosa. Rosa y Ramón, Rosa y Ramón. Renato y Ramiro, Renato y Ramiro. I gave you tongue-tied. Renato y Ramiro. Okay, the R, again at the end of a word, is not trilled like it is when it's doubled or in the beginning, but it is a little like the single R in that it is less trilled. So, for example, and these IR, ER, AR, OR, and UR are just syllables, and there are words that end in those things. But I should point out to you that every single verb infinitive in Spanish ends in a vowel and an R. There's a AR combination, an ER combination, an IR combination. And those are the three basic classifications of all Spanish verbs. So we have it's not trilled as much as the initial R, and it's not a single flap of the tongue as it is in the middle of a word. So let's just try mimicking these words. Motor, motor, motor. That R is kind of like it hits the tongue on the palate 2 or 3 times instead of rrr, multiple times. Pastor, pastor. Now, pastor is like our English pastor. But what is a pastor? He's a shepherd of his flock. So that's what pastor means, shepherd. Here we have both the double and the final R. Terror, terror. Parte, parte, parte. Portero, portero, portero. That's like our word porter, except that it derives from doorman, the person who handles the puerta. Portero is the doorman in Spanish. Okay, we have a whole sentence. El motor es una parte importante. El motor es una parte importante. El motor es una parte importante. Now, the next set of words makes use of a vowel blend we call a diphthong. A diphthong is a combination of 2 vowels, one of which has to be a weak vowel. Now, there are strong vowels and weak vowels. How do you learn which ones are which? My jingle is this: you and I are weak, everybody else is strong. Okay? So I and U are the weak vowels, A, E, and O are the strong vowels. So any combination of 2 vowels that contains at least one weak vowel is going to be pronounced as a diphthong, a vowel blend. So let's look at a few examples. IE is ye, the IA is ya, and the IO is yo. So we have these words, fiesta, fiesta. Not fiesta, it's fiesta. The vowels blend together. Una fiesta, una fiesta, una fiesta. Try saying these as we go. Siete, the number 7. Siete, siete. Siete fiestas, siete fiestas, siete fiestas. 7 parties. Familia, familia, familia. That diphthong, IA, is at the end of the word. So it's not stressed. That's not where the stress is. Misteriosa, misteriosa, misteriosa. You hear the yo sound there, misteriosa. And not misteriosa. Okay, misteriosa. Una familia misteriosa. Una familia misteriosa. Any of us have those? Patio, not patio, 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 patio. El patio es misterioso. El patio es misterioso. Hear the yo in 2 places. Patio misterioso. Paisano, paisano. Questions on these pronunciation combinations? Or comments? You want any part of it repeated because you didn't quite catch it. No response. Okay. Must be clear as a bell. Page 8. UE, UA, and UO. U, and remember, is a weak vowel. So we have vowel blends here. We, wa, wo. We, UE, wa, UA, and wo, UO. So we have these examples. Puerto Rico, Puerto Rico, Rico. Buenos Aires, Buenos Aires. The way in Buenos and the I in Aires are diphthongs. Tetuan, Tetuan. The UA there is a diphthong. There's an accent on the A, the stronger of the 2 vowels, just to tell us that that's the syllable that's stressed. Instead of Tetuan, it's Tetuan. And that's a place name in Mexico. Mutuo, 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 which means mutual. Fatuo, 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 which means fatuous. Una causa mutua. There's some good diphthong. Au, moi. Una causa mutua. Una causa mutua. Finally, we have a diphthong and then 2 strong vowels together, so they form separate syllables. Nausea, nausea. The ow is 1 syllable, and the a and the a are separate syllables. Nausea. Combination CE and CI. They're pronounced S's in most Spanish. I'll point out here, though, that Castilian Spanish, which comes from Castile, central Spain, central and northern Spain, they do it differently. They put the E and the CI, as well as the Z, not as S's, but as the TH in thin. Some people think it's a lisp, but it's not. It's really a way to tell how a word is spelled exactly. Otherwise, you don't know if it's a CI or an SI. Okay? Anyway, that's my just little bit of propaganda in favor of the Castilian accent. So, cine, C-I-N-E, is short for cinema. In Castilian Spanish, it's cine. Cine. Censor. In Castilian, censor. Pacífico. Pacífico. In Castilian, pacífico. Pacífico. El Océano Pacífico. El Océano Pacífico. In Castilian, el Océano Pacífico. Paciente, paciente. In Castilian, paciente, paciente. Paciencia, paciencia. In Castilian, paciencia, paciencia. Celestial, celestial. In Castilian, celestial, celestial. Situación, situación. In Castilian, situación. Situaciones, situaciones. In Castilian, situaciones. Nación, nación. In Castilian, nación. Naciones, naciones. In Castilian, naciones. Función, función. In Castilian, función. Funciones, funciones. In Castilian, funciones. Asociación científica, asociación científica. Asociación científica. In Castilian, asociación científica. Asociación científica. Asociaciones científicas. Asociaciones científicas. En Castilian, asociaciones científicas. They're meant to be tongue twisters here to make you practice. Ka, ko, ku. The hard C, the K sound. Costa Rica, Costa Rica. Correcto, correcto. Colonial, colonial. You'll see that boldface is used here to tell you which syllable is stressed. And we'll go over those rules next time about how where is the stress in a word. Accent, to me, is the punctuation mark, the spelling mark, and stress is the spoken stress. Okay? Until next time.